The League of Legends World Championship reaches the playoffs in Korea. The French dominate Counter-Strike in Sweden, and Germany's Dota 2 influences is felt in China. I'm John Rice, here with me as always are Meg Turney and the Daily Dot's Jared Wynne. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Here's what you need to know.
You're very close to me when we turn to look at each other.
we had a moment.
A big shakeup in the French Counter-Strike scene scrambled together 15 players from 3 teams into a trio of new rosters. It looked chaotic at the time, and many fans wondered what would become of the new teams, but now we have our answer.
2 of those recomposed French teams, Titan and LDLC, invaded Sweden to compete in DreamHack Stockholm's Invitational Tournament, and the results were impressive. Both teams defeated Ninjas in Pajamas to knock the local favorites out, then stormed through the rest of the competition to make it an all-French final, which Titan won in a sweep. Jared, does this mean that all of these changes will be worthwhile for the French teams?
I think they've been worthwhile so far. It's a pretty good result for your first big tournament.
Winning.
You go and you win the whole thing. Yeah, you make the finals.
That's a good notion of it's worthwhile.
Yeah, it's good worthwhile in the whole competitive thing if you're into that, which they are, I assume.
If you're into winning when you're competitive, you know.
Yeah, we can make some French competitive jokes if you want to, but we won't go there.
Or French invasion jokes.
Well, that's coming later.
That's too easy.
I think you are going to make that joke.
Okay. Well, yeah, but that's too easy. We have highbrow humor here.
Right.
We keep things very we have synchronized responses.
We do.
It's very good. Yeah, excellent. So yeah, great tournament for Titan and LDLC. Good showing by them. The third team in that equation we didn't mention, Epsilon, they kind of get the leftovers of the deal, and they're left out they're very sad French players in that team, very sad French people, and that's just very sad.
It's sad to see sad French people.
But Titan and LDLC, very happy, very pleased with the
Happy
results.
French people.
Yeah, they beat some strong teams,
Happy
like
French
Ninjas in Pajamas.
people.
What are you singing?
Like Happy Shiny People? No? Okay.
I was like, I didn't know this song.
How dare you sing a song that's fitting for this moment? Sorry. Go
How
ahead.
dare you? No, that's fine. I think it's a good way to cap this and move on to the
Great.
next. Yeah.
Happy French people. Yeah. Meanwhile, in China, it's a player from Germany making an impact. The I-League final was held over the weekend in Shanghai and featured some of Dota 2's best teams in Asia and Eastern Europe. In a field that included names like Newbie and Virtus Pro, it was Vici Gaming who emerged victorious.
The big story from the win, besides the share of the more than $300,000 prize pool Vici received, was the play of one of their additions, German player Dominik Black-Reitmeier, who decided a while ago to try and make it as a pro Dota 2 player in China. Jared, does this mean we're going to see more players make an international switch?
We could, but I just wanted to mention one of the players we just talked about is actually named Happy. That's the name he uses. Just throwing it out there.
It's so fitting. It's like it all works together.
Don't help her, okay? Let's move forward.
Okay, let's move forward. Never back, always forward. Just like in
We were friends before this started.
We were friends.
Then I did a Mr. Krabs impression and it all went downhill.
That's how most friendships end, honestly. A bad Mr. Krabs impression.
The Yoko Ono of friendship, Mr. Crab impressions.
So, can we see more players making the international switch?
We could. There's some history of this happening. A Counter-Strike team about a decade ago was very successful with players from North America and Norway. So it's happened before. It's been successful before. It is different to see, I think, Western and Eastern teams coming together like this. We do see it in League of Legends. Some North American teams have imported Korean talents, for example, to get a different taste in their team. There's been some criticism of the German player going over to Vici Gaming, but they just won a tournament, so that should be a good thing.
Yeah.
Does that help teams to have, I guess it helps teams to have 2 different play styles, but does it hurt them in like cohesion to have 2 different play styles working together?
It could. There's a big cultural difference, obviously, between a lot of Western and Eastern countries. That's why we don't see this kind of thing happen more often, I think. It's difficult for the player who's transitioning to the region he's not familiar with to make that transition. And just even communicating with your teammates can be difficult when one of you speaks German and English and the others speak Korean or Chinese in this case, or Mandarin, I guess I should say. So it's a difficult thing to do. But if you're a creative team and you want to change things up and you have players who are willing to make the commitment to do it, and this guy, Reitmeier, he is definitely willing. He's been doing this for a while now. I think it can work out and have good results.
Very cool.
Okay, and Valve made some changes to Dota 2. What did they change?
They're basically just looking to balance the game, take some randomness out of it. There are things called runes in Dota 2, which spawn at one of 2 random locations in the river in Dota 2's game field. And now the location that does not have the rune in it will have a consolation prize. If a player shows up looking for the rune, they'll get some golden experience instead. So it just makes things a little bit less random. The geography of the map was also changed a little bit to make things a little bit differenter, if you will. So, you know,
good words.
It's
a good word.
Thank you. I'm here for my words. Yeah.
Aren't we all?
So there will be some changes made, or there were some changes made. We'll see some changes.
We might see some more.
The changes will
You heard it
cause
here
changes.
first.
Yes. In the future, I see changes.
Previously on the show, we talked about some Korean StarCraft 2 players leaving their nations, leaving Korea to play abroad. It's a curious decision, seemingly because today the real money in StarCraft is mostly in Korea. I saw what you're doing over there. And now one of those players has found his home, so we'll see how that decision has panned out for him.
Korea's Shin Hydra Dongwon has signed with international team Root Gaming. The move immediately strengthens Root's StarCraft roster, but even the team's manager admitted that Shin wouldn't be paid up to the player's established standards. Jared, the team manager is coming out saying he's not going to get paid as much. Why does he do this?
Well, we talked about this before to some extent. I think he just wants to get out of the Korean scene. It's a bit of a zoo over there. The practice hours are extreme, and you're expected to have those every single day. Internationally, you're kind of on your own schedule to some extent, so I think that's a reason why. But the pay cut is dramatic. He's looking at a small fraction, most likely. We don't know for sure, but a small fraction of what he was once making before. So hopefully he saved some money. I think one thing we should cover with these Western and Eastern teams and players coming together is they could be comparing jackenet styles we talked about before, which I think is pretty important and could really make a difference in the way they prepare for matches.
Genuinely curious about it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And you know what? I didn't bring it up in rehearsal. I thought we were going to move on. But Jared's bringing it right back.
Well, you know what? They could be curious too.
You know what? It's funny is because I asked someone else, like, am I being ridiculous asking this? And the other person I asked was like, no, I would be interested to know.
Who was the other person you asked?
Gavin.
Yeah. Not a ridiculous person at all.
Interested to know.
Right.
You know what? I don't critique you or the things you're curious about.
I know for a fact why you didn't mention it was Gavin first.
No, because I'm my own person. I don't have to mention Gavin all the time. Of course, the biggest news of the week was the conclusion of the group stage in Riot's World Championship for League of Legends, and the final dates of this stage of the competition did not disappoint. Let's start by talking about Group C, shall we? This was considered by some to be the group of death, and it kind of looked like it. What's that to you here, Jared?
Well, I shall tell you what's that to me.
Please, good sir. The best was you couldn't see that, wasn't it?
It was Jared's look like a dog makes when someone's making a high-pitched noise. All right, what happened in Group C?
Some stuff happened. Fnatic had a heartbreaking loss. They came within. Yes, their hearts were literally broken on camera. Medical teams were brought in. They couldn't bring. It was horrible thing.
Very sad.
The tournament was canceled. No, they came within one auto attack of winning a game that probably would have put them through the playoff stage. Instead, they were about 1 second away from that victory, and they got a loss instead. They got a loss. They lost. Now they're losers. They're going home with their heads.
Well, they've already got their hearts broken. You don't need to drive it home. They're losers, okay? They know it.
I'm not driving it home.
They're very upset about it.
Avert your eyes.
I'm just saying they lost, and they're losers, and they're going home. They're never going to come back, and that's it. And it's terrible for them, and I know that, and I want to reiterate that. I want to reiterate how terrible it is and how bad they are to have lost.
This show is so dark.
They're bad, and they should feel bad.
They should, yeah. Just like the other team we talked about.
What about Group D?
Well, Group D is pretty good, but on Group C, I should mention that.
Okay, wait. I'm sorry. Are we moving on? Should I actually do the information?
Well, I don't want it to be so dark. I know that was kind of like a downer,
was there
right?
some brightness in Group C?
Yeah. LMQ won their first 2 games and then lost their next 4.
I just imagine someone from LMQ watching the show and being like,
I'm done with this roller coaster of emotions, Jared.
Yeah, there's a bit of a smile when I see the 2 wins. It's like, oh no, the 4 losses. I thought he was going to skip those. Just pretend they didn't happen. No,
a Machiavellian reporter from Daily Dot.
Yeah.
Jared doesn't skip anything.
No,
He doesn't skip jokes I made last week. He doesn't skip losses in the start.
I don't skip jokes. I don't skip typing.
No.
I don't.
Nino.
Is that typing?
Nino.
Group D.
He hasn't finished Group C. What else happened to Group C?
What other losers were there in Group C?
I think
There were some winners, I think. I think some people had
he
to
said
win.
there was a winner.
Yeah, and OMG moved on.
There we go.
They did move on, but
Is that it?
They lost their first 2 games though. They got off to a very disappointing start.
Oh.
Yeah, I was disappointed with their start, honestly.
Give us some silver lining.
They moved on, I guess.
Okay.
Really
Group
though,
D.
Group D, pretty cool group.
Oh, great. Good
as
group.
far as groups go,
Good group.
I like this as a group. It was a good group. We had Alliance and Cloud9. That was the big battle coming in, the big European power and the big North American power, and they split games. But then Cloud9 managed to upset the Korean team in the group, Naj and White Shield, and Alliance were themselves upset by the wildcard team, and that proved the difference in the group. So Cloud9 moves on, Alliance goes home with Fnatic, and they can be sad together. That's kind of happy, right?
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to be sad alone. You can be sad with someone else.
You're trying, dude.
There can be group crying and other group activities that we talked about with esports teams, whatever they do together.
So what does it mean that these teams from North America and European leagues are being able to take down Korean teams?
It's a good thing. We haven't seen a lot of it.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. It's just so much. There's been so much downer, and I don't know how to feel in my life.
Feel good.
Okay, good.
Do a Krabs impression if you want.
No thanks. That goes so well.
I was just going to bring us further down if you do.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Yeah, okay. It's a good sign for these teams, to be able to beat the Korean teams. It shows a lot of progress, I think. In the past, that wouldn't happen so much. But now we're going to see whether it really means something as I segue into our next discussion topic.
Good segue.
Yeah. Now we're going to see it.
John.
With group play concluded this weekend, we'll see the start of the playoffs. The 4 quarterfinal matches are all set. Samsung Galaxy White will meet Team Solomid. Samsung Galaxy Blue will play Cloud9. Edward Gaming will match up again with fellow Chinese team Starhorn Royal Club. And Najin White Shield will play OMG.
That means we'll have 2 matches featuring a North American LCS finalist against a Korean team, 2 Chinese teams battling out with each other, and a Korean and Chinese match. All 3 Korean and Chinese teams qualified, while 2 of the 3 North American teams did, and none of the European teams or wildcards made it through. Jared, is that surprising to you that none of the European teams made it?
It is kind of surprising, but John, could you give me those matchups again off the top of your head?
Nope.
Okay. Just asking. I mean, I was impressed with the reading through them so fast. So, yeah.
I can read fast.
Very
Hey,
clean.
Starhorn Royal Club was in there. I like that really name.
That's a good
Imagine
name.
Gaming. They've got good names.
What other names do you like? Unicorns of Love?
Oh, yeah, and Ninjas in Pajamas.
That's a
We're
good-
big,
We're making the
big
list.
Ninjas in Pajamas fans
Yeah.
here.
So, I want to see if you can keep all these names off the top of your head.
Oh, for
Starhorn,
sure.
Royal Cub, Unicorns
Club,
of Love,
yeah.
Club, Cub.
See, you can't even do it. You hush.
Starhorn Royal Cubs. That's a
They should
fun
start a
team.
new team.
Yeah, that's their minor league team, actually.
They come up for
The Cubs and the Goats of the club.
to the big leagues.
Cubs in the club.
So how's Team Solomid gonna do you think?
They're going to do okay. Their decision-making is still kind of questionable, I think. And they're against the big Korean powerhouse. That's a tough matchup for them. So maybe they'll do okay. They might get swept, though. It could go either way. Cloud9 has a better chance, I think, in their matchup. Also against a top Korean team. But they're a strong team. They just beat a Korean team. They could do it again. They have to do it multiple times, though.
Do it again.
They could do it again.
Do it again.
Yeah, there's multiple songs, I think, there.
I don't like when you do songs either.
Oh, man.
Listen, when this is over, you can do your Mr. Crab impression again, and I'll
It's
say I
really
like
solid.
Let's
Okay.
see John's Mr. Crab impression.
Yeah.
Nope, that's it for the leaderboard this week. Join Meg and Ashley for the Know-It-All on Friday on the Rooster Teeth channel, where they'll bring you all the biggest news stories of the week in one shot.
In the meantime, for more gaming and entertainment news, make sure you click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for more from the leaderboard. GG. GG. No!